Welcome to the Construct Ed and Roofers Coffee Shop online learning series. This is the fourth class out of the Marketing for Roofing Contractors and Marketing Technology series, and I'm very happy to have you here today. Thank you so much. Over the last 4 weeks, we have been reviewing several different types of marketing software and trends that really would relate back to the roofing contractor or contractors in general. And so we started with May 11th with Are You Ready for Software? We followed that up with websites and email marketing. Today we're going to be talking about social media. So again, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and I am with HJE Consulting and RoofersCoffeeShop.com. And again, having given these classes, it's been an honor over the last 4 weeks, and I'm excited to share some social media thoughts with you. So here we go. This is a very busy slide, but I wanted to start out with just looking at all of the options there are for social media. It's a bit overwhelming. As we look at this, you can obviously see Facebook is the leader by a long stretch, and this is a February 2016, so not that long ago. And what's really interesting is as you see YouTube, it is coming in a quick second, and then Reddit. How many people are hearing about Reddit? But it is definitely catching fire. We also have Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and you can see that it slopes down. But what we're finding is that many of these social media fit for certain types of business, certain type of social interaction, whatever it may be, so they all have their own little spot, obviously with Facebook leading the way. So what we're going to talk about today, and as I mentioned earlier, these slides, this presentation is videotaped, so as you want to come back and kind of look and see some of these descriptions and who they are, this will all be here on Construct Ed. But let's talk a little bit about roofing contractors and what are we seeing there. I work with roofing contractors across the country. I do consulting for NRCA, working with RoofersCoffeeShop.com. We see all types of social media use, but really it kind of falls down into the type of business that you're doing. If it's primarily residential, we see Facebook. Facebook is the leader across the board. We also are starting to see Instagram. And Instagram is basically, and we'll go over this a little bit later in the presentation, but it's part of being able to share pictures, being able to share videos, being able to get information out there in a different visual manner. Pinterest, Yelp, Tumblr, they're all part of that residential experience, but really contractors aren't spending a whole lot of time keeping those updated. Then on the commercial side, we see LinkedIn and Twitter. And very interesting, LinkedIn, great recruiting tool, but really is starting to be the networking way to talk to other building owners, to talk to facility managers. So it becomes that way of research. And we're going to talk about all of these a little bit more in depth. And Twitter is for the millennials, and they use it to research. So even though it may seem like a foreign language to most of us, it's something that the younger generations are using, and they're not just using it to communicate, they're using it to research. And for both residential and commercial, definitely YouTube. Everyone's using YouTube. We saw that in the last slide. They're using it for research. And Google+. Not incredibly active socially, but it keeps changing. And as we all know, Google knows what they're doing. So you need to watch that. And more than anything, it's great for SEO. Limited activity in the roofing industry is what I'm seeing is Reddit and Yahoo. But from what we see of those stats, Reddit is really gaining popularity overall. And what seems to happen is as some of these new social medias come on, then they filter into our industry. So in time, we probably will be seeing it. Facebook stats. I thought this was just kind of interesting, and I wanted to share some of this with all of you. But worldwide, they have over 1.4 billion Facebook users. Hard to believe, but yes, 1.4 billion. And 5 new profiles are created every second, with 53% of those being female and 40% being male. So nice. I mean, that's pretty even. Every 60 seconds on Facebook, 510 comments are posted, 293,000 statuses are updated, and 136,000 photos are uploaded. That is an incredible amount of activity. And the average time spent per Facebook visit, 20 minutes, so you know they're there. And then, like we talked about before the photo uploads with a total of 300 million per day. 1 in 5 page views in the United States occurs on Facebook. That is where your customers are, so it's where you all need to be too. When you're looking at Facebook, this is from 2012, so this is 4 years ago, but 42% of marketers report that Facebook is critical or important to their business. I would say that number, that percentage, we will see huge increases with that percentage. Every day, people are on Facebook. They're figuring out how to market on Facebook in a way that gets interest from consumers. For example, I have a picture here of Roofer's Coffee Shop. One of the things that Roofer's Coffee Shop does is advertising on Facebook for customers, but in a fun and interesting way, something that people can learn from. They can get a new worksheet. They can get offers. It's making it fun and engaging. So let's talk a little bit about that. If you're ready to start putting together your social media, whether it is Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, there are going to be some basic ideas, some basic concepts of things that you should consider as you're starting to design your program. One of those is branding. You want to make sure that whatever platform you're on, any social media, that you have branded your company. So, for example, you can see here, Roofer's Coffee Shop. We have our logo on there. And great big red letters, where the industry meets. That's how we brand ourselves. That's how we put it out there. You need to do that exact same thing for your company. So whether commercial or residential, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that not just your logo, but also your messaging, who you are, that brand, that you get it out there in a way that is very in the front for those customers and for those social media participants to see it and to understand what you do. It needs to be quick and it needs to be interesting. One of the other things is keep it clean. You don't need huge amounts of copy, but you do need the right messaging and the right words. So make it a quick read and make it educational. Why, for example, you can see a recent update that we just did was on this social media. Why should they be interested? Why do people want to hear about social media and roofing? Those are the kind of things that you want to be putting out there and explaining to your customers why their roof is important and what they need to be thinking about, and it's a perfect platform to do it through social media. Engaging subject lines. And, as you're doing your headers, most of those are on SEO. So your search engine optimization is also looking at your social media posts. So make sure as you're messaging, what we talked about last week and the week before with websites, is you want to make sure that you're using a lot of the same keywords, you're using a lot of the same information. Content is critical no matter what platform. So in social media, you want to make sure that it is good, strong content for your consumers and potential customers. And again, when you're posting, you want to make it interesting. As you'll see over here on the left, this picture received a huge amount. 1,840 people looked at it. 124 people clicked through, just because that is interesting. It's an interesting roof with all the layers. What's going on there? So you want to make it relevant too. We at Roofer's Coffee Shop, we post roofing. We talk about celebrating the roofing contractors, and so we show those kind of pictures. It's relevant to our audience. For your audience, to the homeowners or to the building owners and facility managers, make it relevant to them. How do you make their life easier? How are you making a difference in the community? How can you make a difference and make it easy for them to get a new roof, siding, gutters, HVAC, whatever you may be doing? Make it relevant to your audience so they're learning something and getting engaged. Maybe it's about a new solar array. Who knows? And be sure to link it back to your website. Again, when we talk about clean and easy, it doesn't mean you have to put everything in that post. You don't need a huge, long post. What you need is something very interesting to catch their attention and a link or a tag that takes them back to your site and gives them that full information as they do research, which again then gets them to your site, helps with your search engine optimization. It all files together. And tags. One of the great things to do is if you are in a partnership, say you're working with an HVAC contractor as partners and you have kind of helped self-promote each other, do joint pictures. Do a beautiful roof with the beautiful new HVAC on there, and tag them, because then that will go to their customers too. And so some of you may be saying, how do you do the tags? Well, there are many, many videos. There are many ways to learn, and there's also great services. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more towards the end. But tagging is important, and it's great when you work with others and do reciprocal tagging, because then that expands your audience. I was looking through some of the stats on the best time to post, and the one thing that I can say is this constantly changes. But for Facebook, most recent is that the highest traffic occurs midweek between 1 and 3, and on Thursdays and Fridays has the highest engagement. So really, you think about it, people are getting ready for the weekend. They're tending to check out their Facebook more. Maybe they're doing that on Monday morning too. This is something that is ever changing. So we'll talk about this a little bit towards the end of the presentation, but monitor when you're getting the most engagement, when you're getting the best posts, and figure this kind of out for yourself. You can do research online, but really it's going to matter on your audience and what you're doing and where you're at, where your engagement and the best times to post will be. And it will become obvious in time. So if you're just getting started with a Facebook page, or if you've been around, had a Facebook page, and just haven't done a whole lot with it, and you want to get more followers, you want to get more engagement, a great way to do that is with Like My Page. So, and as we talked about before, really Facebook is a great medium for residential roofing. You'll still get some follow through on the commercial side for sure, but really when you look at it, the residential side of it is the most has the most benefits. So one of the ways to do this is you will see on your main page, as you see down the left side here, you'll see where it says invite friends to like this page. And then all of the friends come up, and you can invite them to come like this page. And these are a bunch of my friends. But what you want to do is you want to kind of look at that and figure out, how can I build on that? So maybe it is to reciprocate with other of your partners. Maybe it's manufacturers. You like their page, you ask them to like your page. Distributors, partners, that HVAC contractor we just talked about. You can do reciprocal likings, and they can help you to get into their audience and get their audience into yours. And really, when you're looking at it, the audience that you want are homeowners or building owners in your community, in your region. So those are the partners that you want to look for, the ones who maybe already have some of those customers that you want to get in front of, so you can do some shares and like each other's pages. Also, get your employees to do this. All your employees have friends. They all have neighbors. They are all involved in the community. So I know many people are like, oh, I don't want anybody on Facebook. But this is the way people are communicating. It is the future, and it's really not going to go away. So your employees can bring a lot of the local community onto your site, as can your customers. Ask them to like you. Ask them to refer you. You're already doing that with referral programs. So now at the same time, ask them to like you and to visit your page and be active with it. And, of course, family and friends, another great way. So kind of think outside the box on this as you're putting these programs together. So one of the things that Facebook has done in the last couple of years, and that has really made a difference, is they offer you the opportunity to promote your page. Now, this costs some money. It can go anywhere from $15 up to $200 or more, whatever you're willing to spend. And basically what it does is it allows you to expand your audience. You can go in there and you can say, I'm looking for females between the ages of 30 and 50 who own a home. There are many different ways that you can get demographics to really help promote your page out to the people that you're looking for in your community. Again, you want to make sure you're making it relevant. And you don't promote every post, but what you do is you find the ones that you think maybe will help attract new customers. Maybe it's a community project, or maybe it's a very unique installation, something that is really interesting that will make customers want to talk to you. Those are the ones that you want to promote. And like I said, try just with $15 the first time and see what happens. See what kind of response you get. Use it when you need it. It's not something you do all the time. Another thing that you want to consider on your website and as you're designing it are video and photos. And it's really interesting. I found these stats, and I wanted to share this with you. But the use of video on Facebook has actually gone down. Part of that is probably because of the YouTube rise, as we saw earlier in some of the statistics. But it's still incredibly strong, and it's not going away. So you want to be able to think about, how can I promote photos from the jobs, employees, community service, those type of things on my website, and how can you use video at the same time? People love to watch videos. It is continually, as we can see with YouTube, people use it to research, and they use it to figure out what they're looking for. So you are providing them a direct channel into your company. Some of the things to watch out for and be careful about: privacy. So if you are taking any pictures of jobs, of customers, you always need to have them give you a signed release. Make sure you have their permission. And this isn't just for legal, although that's a big part of it. This is also about respect and making sure you keep your customers happy, because that, in the end, is why you're doing all this. So you want to make sure that you are very courteous to the people that you're taking pictures of, their houses, their assets, whatever it may be. And also always, with any videos or photos, keep the eye out on safety. The last thing you want to do is have OSHA come and visit you because they see a picture on your social media of someone on the roof with the safety equipment or the safety not being set up correctly. So always make sure that that is perfect. So since we're talking about videos, let's go to YouTube for a little bit. YouTube has become a major social media for research. I know it sounds crazy. Most of us think, oh, it's just fun. They're watching these videos and whatever it may be, cats and dogs and dancers. But really, we are finding that especially the millennials are looking to YouTube to find out research. How do I do this? How do I set that up? What are the directions? What's the best use of this product? Who's the best contractor out there? They are looking and they're using it as research. So the more that you can have up on your YouTube channel, better. The more you can talk about the correct way of roofing, being licensed, all those important things that a homeowner is going to care about. After a hailstorm, what should they be looking for? It's a great video. Those are the types of things that you want to get out there, and then you want to promote them on your Facebook and on your other social media and on your webpage and possibly even in an email. So videos and hosting them on YouTube then opens it up the ability for you to promote them in many different platforms. Like I said, make sure they're educational and monitor them, because there are comments that come in, and you'll see this again, but every social media, anywhere you go, you want to monitor it for comments, for how it's doing, the analytics, all of those things. Instagram. As we're talking about YouTube and we're talking about pictures, Instagram is really growing. A lot of the younger generations are using this. They take the pictures and then they share them through other social media like Facebook or Twitter. And one of the things that we're seeing at the Roofers Coffee Shop is it is a great way for contractors to share their success, to share their job profiles. And we have been seeing this grow and grow with photo contests. We have all types. As you can see right now, 529 followers on Roofers Coffee Shop Instagram, just so they can share their photos and see other photos. They can learn from each other. So sometimes, even though it may not be for your customers, maybe it's for the education of your company, it can be a lot of different things, but it helps you to connect and to see what's coming up. And it's a great way to promote your company with your photos. Again, remember, safety, privacy, keep all those things in mind. But this is a good medium and tends to be more residential. But again, it's being used across the board. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great social media for commercial, and here's why. Basically, LinkedIn started out as a recruiting tool, and we have companies from all over the country who use it to recruit labor, to get in front of other companies and potential employees. Now, you may be thinking, well, why do I want to be there? I don't want my customers to get poached. But when you look at this and you think about it, LinkedIn has really changed. It's still being used in that way, but really it is a networking platform. So you're able to go out there and network with building owners, facility managers, national accounts, you name it. You're able to go research and find out about those companies, find out who the decision makers are, what is happening in the facility management world, who are the people who are working there, so that when your salespeople go on a call, they know who to talk to. They've seen it. They've done their research. It is excellent for that. And it is also a great place to feature your company for those same people. So as you connect with a building owner, that building owner then is going to see your most recent projects. They're going to see your certifications. They're going to understand your educational, what you're putting out there as posts. So with LinkedIn, you want to have a company page. You want your employees to have pages. And I know that that's scary sometimes, but for your salespeople, it's critical for them to be able to connect and really build their customer base and to be able to get a lot more prospects. Social selling, it's very important nowadays. And be sure that you keep this active so that as you're going through, you are posting information, you are talking about current topics, you really can position your company and your employees as the experts when it comes to roofing or the building envelope. And Twitter. So many of us think of Twitter as only being for movie stars. But really, Twitter is very much of the millennials. They are using it not just for research, not just for entertainment, but for research. In fact, I have talked to large commercial roofing contractors who have said, yeah, this national account person, this purchasing agent found me through Twitter. Just because they are on Twitter, they're posting, they're being a part of it, and that's where a lot of times this age group who are becoming the purchasing agents of tomorrow, this is where they're doing their research. So some of the important things with Twitter, know the rules. And I'm not going to go through all those rules today, but there is 140 characters. There are special ways that you need to use the hashtags, to use the @ sign, to make sure that you are really getting the information out there, but it's short and it's quick and it's of the moment. So you want to make sure that you use this as possibly you're finishing a big job and you have a picture of the building owner who's agreed to be in that picture and you post it on Twitter to show them this excellent job that just completed. Those are the types of things. And even in residential, there are a lot of people using Twitter. So if you're already setting up Facebook, a lot of times those two will talk to each other and it will post in both places. So as you're setting this up, it's just another way to be seen, and it's another way to engage and communicate. And again, encourage the employees. Encourage them to talk about the jobs, and make sure they know the rules and they follow the rules as they are putting through. But this Twitter, more than anything, is very much about engagement and people posting, tweeting, retweeting, all of those great things. So let's move a little bit to Google+. Google+, the one thing about Google+ that's constant is that it's constantly changing. Google, as everyone knows, has their fingers on the pulse of social media and where it's going. Has it been a Facebook? No, but it constantly changes, and it's amazing for SEO, for your search engine optimization. And it's also a great local push. So Google+, you definitely want to have a Google+ page set up. You want to have your basic information in there, and you want to monitor it. And see, you may have a very active circles in your area, and so Google+ will be really strong for you. Other places, it may not. But as you can see here, it has new Google+ tricks. Go on there, watch the videos, research it. This is important as you're moving through and setting up your social media, and especially to optimize your website. So that is just a quick run-through of some of the more popular social media platforms. There are many, many. And there's also reviews on Google+, there's Angie's List, there's all these different referral sites, Yelp. So as you are working through this, again, I really encourage you to talk to your partners in the community. What are they doing? Where are they finding success? And also just do some exploring online. And as whoever you have do this, whether it's an inside marketing person or an outside source, just make sure that they are constantly watching what is working throughout the community, because that's what's important. What works in Portland, Oregon may not work in Miami, Florida. You need to know where you're at and be monitoring your local situation. And when it comes to monitoring, it is really important to look at what is happening with your social media. So as you are looking, this is a Facebook page that you will have with the analytics. This is for National Women in Roofing, so we don't have a whole lot yet, but we're working that way. And we are able to monitor how are the posts doing, who is looking at it, what kind of activity are we having throughout the day. So as you look at those analytics, you're able to then, like we talked about before, figure out when the best times to post may be. And also, do I need to get more likes? What do I need to do to engage them more? What's working? What kind of posts are people paying attention to and engaging in or commenting or sharing? Those kind of things can all be found through these types of analytics. And it's not, Facebook has theirs, all the social media has some. But there's also services out there, for example, Hootsuite, where you can actually have all of your social media platforms in one place and monitor the success of each social media. That may be able to tell you, again, that in our neighborhood, really, it's Facebook, and yeah, we're seeing some Instagram. This will work. Or maybe it's LinkedIn and Twitter. You don't know, but by monitoring it, looking at the analytics, using some of the online services, you'll be able to start figuring out what works best for your company. And always, a part of everything we do, set some goals, because social media is easy to ignore. It's easy. It's one of those things, we set up a Facebook a year ago, but we've never posted anything. Well, it's not a great use of your time if you're not using it and you haven't set goals. What are some goals that you want? I'm proud to say that Roofer's Coffee Shop hit 10,000 likes on Facebook. Our next goal, 15,000. We're going to continue to push to get every roofing person in the industry onto the site, but we have to set goals so that we know what we're doing is helping to promote and grow the business the way we want it to using social media. And the other reason to monitor it, too, is really so that you can look at what is it doing for my whole marketing program. How is it helping my search engine optimization? How is it helping my other services like email and websites or collateral, whatever it may be? By monitoring your social media, you're also going to get a look into how your other marketing efforts are going. So one disclaimer that I always like to put out there is when you venture into the world of social media, it is a conversation. And that conversation may not always be to your liking. So you need to definitely take a deep breath, because one of the things you don't want to do on social media is fight. Don't fight with them. If they don't like your product, if they don't like your services, the worst thing you can do is get into a verbal conflict, because your company will almost always lose. What you do want to do is make it positive. So if you have a customer who is not happy, who maybe has posted a negative review or is posting on your Facebook, the best thing you can do is reach out to that person. Call them. Hopefully they're a customer, there's somebody you can get in touch with, or email them and really talk to them about what can we do different? Why are you unhappy? What's going to happen? It becomes a sales opportunity instead of a negative. If you can't get a hold of them, and you want, through reviews, you can type in that you are more than willing to help this person, looking forward to having them contact you, just so that other people who may see that negative review or see that negative comment know that you're reaching out in a positive way to make it right, because that's the type of business that you have. But you do want people watching it. Whoever is monitoring your social media or handling your social media, make sure that they're watching, they're monitoring it, and they are making the owner or the leadership team aware of any of those comments so no one gets hit unaware. And like I said before, engage in the positive. And when you do have those positive comments, positive referrals, reviews, have your salespeople call those customers and thank them. is such a personal touch, and it makes a difference. Thank them for those referrals. Thank them for those nice comments on your Facebook page, because they may, through that conversation, actually have some referrals for that salesperson, for their neighbors, friends, or family. So many of you, after listening to this, may be thinking, who in the heck is going to do this? So what we have talked about, and we talked about this in some of our earlier classes that you could review, but there's really two options. You have someone inside who's in charge of this, and this can be anybody. This can be a marketing coordinator. It could be someone within your accounting or your customer service. It could be somebody who just has a natural knack to do that. So I always recommend look inside first, because no one knows your business better than your employees, and it's day-to-day that they can really be engaged with it. If that's not going to work, then there are a lot of places to outsource to get your social media and marketing overall handled. One of the first things you want to do as you're talking to outside agencies is you want to make sure they understand roofing, or at least at the minimum they understand construction overall. It's a different way of marketing, and a lot of contractors end up spending a lot of money to educate agencies who really don't understand the business. Make sure that as you're doing your research and looking for them, that they understand what you're trying to do. And make sure that they're engaged. Make sure it's somebody who, as you can see in this picture, who is going to be online all the time, monitoring your social media, working with you, understanding what needs to be posted, working with your inside folks, so that it really is active and, as we talked about before, relevant. And set goals with these outside sources. This is what we're looking for. This is the kind of engagement we want. Ask them what they think. What success have they seen in other places? Because you can learn a lot from them on what you should be expecting. And you need to be realistic about this. One post is not going to change your business. It is a long, sustained communication with customers and prospective customers. So I am going to give I do recommend, as you're going to trade shows, as you're looking through industry publications and websites, be sure to look for the companies out there who are providing these services. No Time for Social is one company that has a strong background in roofing and really understands it and provides excellent social media support. So look for those kind of companies, and it can make a real difference and make this much easier for you. So at the end of the day, as we've talked about in every one of our classes, everything you do, whether it's websites, email, social media, or your overall marketing plan, the main purpose that you do all this is so that you can attract strangers, you can convert them into people visitors who you can talk to, who you are engaged in a conversation with, who then your salespeople can close and earn business, grow the business, and at the end, you want to keep those customers involved in your business, and you want to delight them with your community service, with your cool projects, with whatever's happening. You want to make sure that you keep them as part of your family, part of your social media and marketing, and that you're able then to hopefully get more referrals from them and start the process all over again. Because it really is all about closing that deal and growing your business and making customers who are friends for life. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this series. We appreciate your support. I appreciate your time, and have a wonderful day.